Hello Manchester United fans. Ruben Amorim given green light to hijack Victor Gyokeres' Arsenal transfer. Arsenal and Manchester United have both been heavily linked with Victor Gyokeres, who is expected to leave Sporting Lisbon for a new challenge in the summer transfer window. Victor Gyokeres has been backed to thrive in the Premier League by Nani as the Sporting Lisbon hotshot continues to be sized up by Europe's elite for a blockbuster summer transfer. Arsenal and Manchester United are among the teams interested in the Swede. Gyokeres, 26, has been in phenomenal form since joining Sporting on a free transfer from Coventry City in the summer of 2023. And his impressive numbers, which currently stands at 85 goals from 92 games, have caught the eye elsewhere. Arsenal were heavily linked with Gyokeres last summer and, as things stand, the striker is on their end-of-season wishlist. Manchester United are also admirers of Gyokeres and managed by his former Sporting boss, Ruben Amorim, though Arsenal are seen as a more likely destination for the player. However, United could be tempted to try and outgun their domestic rivals in the wake of a glowing scout report from Nani, who won 4 Premier League titles at Old Trafford during his playing days. Speaking on the Rio Ferdinand Presents podcast, Nani said of Gyokeres, "He's not playing the same, he's using his qualities on the right moments now, he's not losing energy every time. Now he sets the ball back to the players who have to run with the ball. He controls the game for the team. He's making goals, he's making assists, so I think he's a player who can play in the Premier League. Trust me. If he was playing the same today as he was 1 year ago, I would say no because, in the Premier League, the defenders will eat him because he just wants to run with the ball. But now he's playing with his head and he's really strong. It felt like he was a rock. Powerful. I swear. It's no secret that Amorim is a big fan of Gyokeres, who he managed during his successful Sporting Lisbon tenure. And it emerged last week that the striker will be on the move this summer after reaching an agreement with his current club that he will be sold for between £50.2 million to £58.5 million, a figure that is significantly less than the release clause in his contract. His national team head coach, John Dahl Tomasson, recently claimed Gyokeres was good enough to play for any team in the world amid the growing interest in him. Tomasson said Gyokeres would be fantastic in the Premier League. He could play for any club in the world and he would score a lot of goals anywhere. Him and Alexander Isak are two quite different players, but they're both world-class strikers. Man United news. Marcus Rashford transfer labeled a trap, as contract dispute settled. Manchester United need to raise funds by selling unwanted players, like Marcus Rashford, before they can go shopping for new players in the summer transfer window. The summer transfer window is still 60 days away, but already Premier League clubs are beginning to get their plans in place, and Manchester United are no exception. United clearly need to do a great deal of business over the off-season, with Ruben Amorim's side struggling for consistency this season. But much will depend on their ability to offload unwanted players and generate cash to reinvest. Marcus Rashford, Antony and Jadon Sancho are all currently out on loan at Aston Villa, Real Betis and Chelsea respectively, and there have been reports that those moves could all be made permanent. Getting those deals in place is of crucial importance for United, with co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe making it clear that previous transfer dealings have been well below par. INEOS have been on a drastic cost-cutting exercise in the past year and will not be funding a massive splurge in the transfer window, so canny deals will be the order of the summer. With that in mind, here are the latest headlines from Mirror Football. Villa told to avoid Rashford trap. Former Crystal Palace owner Simon Jordan doesn't think that Aston Villa will fork out the money required to sign Marcus Rashford permanently in the summer. Rashford has been performing well since joining Villa on loan in January from United, but will cost a lot to sign. I could have bet you any money in the world that Rashford would come alive for Aston Villa, Jordan said on TalkSport. Fantastic, but wait until Villa have got to write a check out. I think they're too canny and too wise to fall into this trap. It's one thing having a player on loan, paying a small % of his wages, so it's a small transaction. You have him for 4 months, it costs you £5 to £6 million, nothing, nobody cares. Everybody knew Marcus Rashford was going to lift a leg at Villa. I think the system helps as well. I just think Villa are too wise for it, and first of all, they're not going to want to pay over £300,000 a week and a transfer fee. It's too big of a deal. INEOS settled dispute. United co-owners INEOS and New Zealand Rugby have reached a settlement in their sponsorship contract dispute. NZR, responsible for the All Blacks team, had launched legal action in February after Sir Jim Ratcliffe's company tried to adjust their deal due to the impact of high energy costs and extreme carbon taxes. A joint statement from the organizations read, New Zealand Rugby and INEOS can confirm that a settlement has been reached between the two parties. Whilst the details remain confidential, both organizations are satisfied with the outcome and acknowledge a desire to now move forward. INEOS, which has also stepped back from its sailing sponsorship deal and is reportedly considering Manchester United player ratings versus Nottingham Forest with 1/4 as several struggle. Man United lost to Nottingham Forest in their first Premier League game in 16 days, and here are how the players rated at the City Ground. Manchester United lost to Nottingham Forest in their first Premier League fixture of the month at the City Ground. Anthony Elanga scored against his former club in the 5th minute, having collected the ball midway inside his own half after a United corner was cleared. United head coach Ruben Amorim substituted Manuel Ugarte for Rasmus Højlund at halftime before Christian Eriksen and Mason Mount emerged, but United failed to force a breakthrough against the team with the most clean sheets in the Premier League. The result means Forest have done a domestic double against United for the first time since 1991-92. Here are how the United players rated. Andre Onana, well beaten by Anthony Elanga, urged United to quicken the play and he was quicker to release the ball. Made a good save from an offside attempt. 6. Lenny Yoro, confident on the ball and United's best player on the night. Terrific sliding tackle late on to deny Elanga. 7. Matthijs de Ligt, out of play for Anthony Elanga's breakaway goal and had little hassle from Taiwo Awoniyi as Forest maximized Elanga's running. 6. Nasser Mazraoui, did not know whether to come or go as Elanga spearheaded a one-man counter-attack and did neither, one of his weakest performances. 5. Diogo Dalot, had plenty of the ball and hit the crossbar with a looping header in the first half, not consistent enough in the final third. 6. Manuel Ugarte, offered some presence but made way at halftime as Ruben Amorim belatedly acknowledged the error of starting Joshua Zirkzee up front. 5. Casemiro, got back into his own area and mucked in to halt Elanga's second charge towards goal. Lost his rag in the second half, got booked and then got hooked. 5. Patrick Dorgu, failed to keep up with Elanga when he was sprinting with the ball and hardly offered any end product in attack on a poor night. 5. Bruno Fernandes, had a shot saved unconvincingly by Matt Sells and also a header on target. Lost his rag too easily in the first half. Dropped back into midfield in the second. 6. Alejandro Garnacho. United were a one-man band in attack in the first half and Garnacho was meek. Then he was naive, petulant and booked for kicking the ball away. 4. Joshua Zirkzee, illogically started as the striker and dropped back for the second half. Taken off in the 78th minute with United still chasing a goal. 5. Rasmus Højlund, made the runs a striker should make and won a corner in the first 2 minutes. 6. Christian Eriksen, a spontaneous substitution after Casemiro was booked. Eriksen also got booked. 5. Had a great chance late on but headed wide. 6. Manager, made an obvious cock-up by starting Zirkzee as the number 9 and moving Fernandes further back. Addressed it at halftime but Forest had United's number by then. 5. Ruben Amorim rejects claim that Man United were wrong to sell Anthony Elanga after his wonder goal winner for Nottingham Forest against his old club. Man United boss Ruben Amorim has hit back at suggestions that the Red Devils made a mistake by selling Anthony Elanga to Nottingham Forest. Elanga, 22, netted a stunning winner against his former club on Tuesday night as Forest condemned United to their 13th Premier League defeat of the season. After picking up the ball just outside his own penalty area, Elanga burst away up the pitch and then finished with aplomb past Andre Onana, although he refused to celebrate his 5th-minute strike. The winger, who came through the youth ranks at Old Trafford before joining Forest for £15 million in the summer of 2023, is in the midst of a brilliant season after netting 7 goals and adding 8 assists in the top flight. And, given his match-winning display at the City Ground, Amorim was pressed on whether United were wrong to sell the 22-year-old. We are talking about a lot of front players for Manchester United that are doing right, but they had the chance here, the Portuguese said. Elanga has 28 goal contributions in his 2 seasons with Forest, a record that beats any wide player who has been at United during that time. This has included the struggles of Anthony, Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, an unwanted trio who have been shipped out on loan, but Amorim was steadfast in his view. "You are not talking about players that didn't play for Manchester United," he added. "They were here playing for Manchester United. In here the pressure is too big sometimes, and sometimes you don't get time, and you should have time for these kids to develop. But for that you need a strong base to support all these kids, and if you don't have strong base we are not going to help our kids." They had their chances, and sometimes football is like that, and the pressure of playing for Manchester United is really big. Elanga had initially joined United at the age of 12 after his family moved from Sweden to England, and he made his first team debut aged 19 in May 2021. The winger went on to score 4 goals in 55 appearances for the Red Devils, but after growing frustrated at a lack of regular opportunities, he moved to the City ground just under 2 years ago. Speaking to The Times back in February 2024, Elanga had opened up on his exit from Old Trafford. "It was difficult to leave, but it was needed because I wanted to play and I didn't want to spend another season just playing 10 minutes or not playing for 10 games, he explained. "I wanted a fresh start, but I knew it wouldn't be easy leaving a club that I had been at for 9 years. Sometimes football is like that, it might not always work somewhere. I had seen what Erik ten Hag, did at Ajax with young players, so I was looking forward to it, but I just didn't get the opportunities." Meanwhile, speaking after his goal, which TNT Sports revealed,